Okay, hey, hello, sports lovers, and welcome again to another fantastic episode of the Unlikely Triathlete. I guess I've got to be kind of honest to start with. This is actually episode 2.0, I guess, because we just recorded an entire 40 minutes without actually recording it. So I think we're in good business. We're recording now. Okay, so as I say, welcome, guys. Headaches, these things happen. So this is quite a new, an exciting venture for me, for us. My guest today on the show is not only a guest, but he's going to now be the co-host of the show. As some of you might remember him, Matt Davies was on the very first episode of the Unlikely Triathlete, and he's back again. And we've chatted, we've been mates ever since. And he's going to be bringing his expertise, and we're going to talk a bit more about that as the show goes on. I'm not going to mess it up again and try and introduce you and tell you his whole CV because it's quite a long one. I'm going to let that do himself. So here we are, episode 1. Matt, welcome once again to the Unlikely Triathlete. It's fantastic to have you.
Rob, yeah, look, mate, firstly, well done on the first effort of recording this. So, yeah, it was literally a full 45 minutes in the can before he realised he hadn't hit record. So, if that is a sign of things to come, then you're in safe hands, viewers. Thanks for having me back, Rob. I had such a good time last time. Like you say, we've been mates ever since.
Yeah.
I loved it, and I love being on the pod. I've done a few other podcasts in the past, and I just love it. I love just talking rubbish and hopefully helping some people along the way. So, yeah, I'm so pumped to have Matt and Rob, not Rob and Matt,
There's a reason for that.
hosting the Unlikely Triathlete. So, yeah, thanks for having me.
No, it's brilliant, man. It's great. It's good to have you. So, where do we start, really? I guess, Matt, not everyone will remember you from the first episode, as memorable as I might say it was, and that's why you got slot number 1. But yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Where you come from? What's it all about?
Sure. Yeah, so God, where do I begin? So for a very long time, I worked in a very different career. I was in banking and finance, basically all my life from kind of leaving uni right the way through. And I just reached a point about 6-7 years ago where I just decided enough was enough. So my journey began by signing up to go do something crazy myself. So I was the very epitome of the Unlikely Triathlete. Out of nowhere, just signed up for an Ironman. Decided at that point I didn't own a bike. I'd never ridden a bike with clipping pedals. I'd done a couple of road marathons, but they kind of got a bit bored of the city marathons all being very similar. So just decided that's it. I'm going to take control of my life, get myself back in shape, go and do some crazy challenge that felt very out there and very impossible. So yeah, exactly the classic Unlikely Triathlete, which I guess is where you had me on episode 1. I think I called myself back then on that episode Fat Banker to Ironman. So yeah, I did the whole kind of journey in 6 months and fell in love with it. So during the process, first trained to become a PT, started coaching a few people who were doing more of the get the life back on track, lose a bit of weight, get back in shape, get healthy for the future. Realized pretty quickly that just straightforward coaching people to lose a bit of weight, get a little bit healthier wasn't really lighting the fires. So went and did my Ironman U certification. Since done a raft of other different qualifications, and now I've thrown the banking career out. What was it to say? The baby out with the bathwater and all the rest of it. I'm full in now. I'm a full-time coach. Predominantly people doing triathlon. But a good slug of people doing ultra marathons as well, because for me, the crazier the challenge, the more excited I get and the more invested I get in the journey. So yeah, now I've got a pretty broad mix of people across all areas of health and fitness, and a full-time coach.
And you know what? I think, Matt, first of all, like, kudos for owning it, and maybe the Wokarati will throw eggs at me or something now, but calling yourself the guy who went from Fat Banker to Ironman, that's a massive leap, eh? And owning it, like, hey, where I'm at the moment, I'm not happy with what I'm seeing in the mirror. I'm not happy with what I'm doing. Yeah, my job's a job, it's putting money in the bank, but there's got to be more to life, right? So you took on something, and it's such a tough leap to make, man. It really is, and I think both of us have kind of been that journey. We've dropped jobs that were security. It was money in the bank, as I say, all that kind of thing. We took on new challenges, and we went out there and did it. And I think that's kind of where, throughout all our conversations, that's kind of where we kind of,
Resonate.
because we want to tell everyone else, hey, man, we're just those everyday weekend warriors. We just like regular guys, regular jobs, and we've taken on something, we've achieved, and we're like, whoa, if I can do this, anyone can do this. But the feeling you get from it and the way it changes your life, it's not just like, okay, I finished a race. Okay, well, that was great. Tick, off you go. There's so many different aspects to it that affect your life and change your life that you just weren't expecting. Hey, and making that leap, the catalyst, finding the catalyst to make that leap, I don't think a lot of people come to naturally. And that's where you and I come in. He says, hey, you guys have got that. This is how
Yeah.
you do it.
Look, absolutely. So I think when I signed up for that Ironman, I was looking through all the marketing blurb and getting excited about which one should I do and stuff. And their main kind of marketing tagline is hashtag anything is possible, right? And
Yeah.
it sounds so corny and it sounds so kind of Americanism and all the
Yeah.
rest of it. And it was a bit like, that sounds a bit crass. But the minute you cross that first finish line, the minute you've actually done it, the mentality shift of actually I can go and set up my own business. I can go and do this, that, whatever it might be that you want to do. I think I mentioned on version one of trying to record this.
Yeah, mentioned again.
Yeah, I mentioned again. Don't worry, Rob, you won't forget that. I called it the cheat code. It's like unlocking a
Yeah.
little bit of your brain that says, "Holy, like Jesus, wept." I was. When I say fat banker time, man, I wasn't 35 stone. I wasn't, I
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
ginormous, but I was definitely was at that point in my crossroads in my life when I was looking in the mirror and thinking, "Holy, if I carry on this path, it
Yeah.
is not where I want to be when I hit 65, 70, 75." So I chose to turn right instead of go straight on. But that first decision was a small decision, but it snowballed. Once I've done it and I've crossed that finish line, that's a small decision. Doing an Ironman from no fitness is not
Yeah.
a small decision, but
Yeah.
that was only the first step. Once I'd
Yeah.
done that and I'd unlocked the mentality that
Yeah.
actually I can go and do this
Yeah.
crazy stuff. Now genuinely anything is possible. I will
Yeah.
go and do anything now. So would I have ever quit the safe, secure bank with the pension and the life care and all the stuff that comes with it to go and set up my own business? If I hadn't done that Ironman first, probably not. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what I mean
Yeah.
by the cheat code. It
Yeah.
unlocks something that then means you've got a million other choices.
Yeah.
Most people I meet have a dream of doing some kind of big challenge, an Ironman, a 70.3, maybe an ultra marathon, but they never get started because they just don't know how. That's where I come in. Over the next 12 months, I'm taking a small group of just 5 athletes from day one right the way through to their finish line. We'll be working on how to train smart, how to get your mindset, your performance, your nutrition, your pacing, everything on point. We'll be meeting in person, we'll be training together, I'll be on the same path. I'll be there at the start line and I'll be there at the finish line. Same nerves, same challenge, same finish line. There's only 5 spots, so if you're in, click the link below.
No, for sure. I think, what's quite important as well, is I think like everyone's wired differently, right? Um, and there are those guys. There's like you and me and a handful of guys. And I don't believe it makes us any more special than anyone else. We just wired different, right? But we will say, hey, I need to do something. Oh, let me do an Ironman. Or let me go and run a 100-mile race. Most normal people begin with like a couch to 5K or something like that. And really, to me, apart from the enormity of the event itself, it's the same thing. It's the same process, it's the same principle. You just got to make that start, right? Because um, I say it a lot. I say it a lot, probably in a couple of my shows. All roads lead to Ironman, right? So some guys like, hey, well, I don't want to do an Ironman. I need to do something, right? And I think far too many people stay on that straight road and they don't turn right where you are. And this is where I think our passions mix is that I want to catch those people, because I want to say, hey man, you won't believe it. It's incredible what's out there for you. You just got to and they need that little nudge. You and I didn't need the nudge. Something told us to go and do it. And I think almost like um, we have like a responsibility. I feel like when I've managed to overcome hurdles in life and achieve something from it, I feel like I have a responsibility, whether it's like, I guess like a parent to your own kids, you got to kind of show them the way. And I feel like maybe someone out there is looking for that answer and they don't know how. Well, I've experienced it. I'm no one special, but hey, I can help you with that. This is what I did. It's not just like, this is how you do it. This is what I did and it worked for me. And this is where I am now, you know?
Yeah, I've throughout the banking career, I started off at the coal face and worked my way up and ended up as a leader. And I always, when I was in charge of teams or whatever, I always believed much more strongly in the idea of leading from the front. Of not,
Yeah.
you tell someone to do something and they're just going to roll their eyes and go, yeah, whatever, mate.
Yeah.
Show them that you've done it, and you get a hell of a lot more buy-in. So yeah, I love going and doing the crazy. The crazier, the better. The races I want to go and do
Yeah.
and have gone and done, the more of that you do, the more you can and tell your story along the way, the more you're going to get people go, do you know what? I can't resonate with the end point of that story, but I can definitely resonate with the start point. So maybe if I just take one step, it will start the ball rolling. And it's just about building momentum. You don't have to, and I don't recommend when I'm talking to somebody new now, a new possible athlete that's looking for a coach, I don't recommend starting with an Ironman. It's not the smart way to do it. Can it be done? Absolutely, it can be done. I'm living proof. The smart way is to get going, find something a little bit more manageable, get going. When you get the bug and you do that first thing that didn't feel possible at the outset, then you'll very likely soon get rolled into, well, maybe I'll do a 70.3 then, and then maybe I'll do an ultra marathon, and then maybe I'll do this.
All roads lead to Ironman. And speaking of which, though, I guess we've got to come back to that as well, because we had a discussion of this earlier on this morning before we started recording, was the whole idea. Look, I started out with this Unlikely Triathlete thing when I was starting out as a coach, etc., etc. It was a starting point for me, and I was deeply engrossed in the triathlon, and I was, competing and getting stuck in myself. But I always knew then that this thing was going to evolve into something different, because it's not just about triathlon, right? It was a starting point for me, and we've talked about this because it's not only triathlon; it's the ultra runners, it's the any kind of event. Really, it doesn't even have to be ultra stuff, right? Anything that's quite difficult, anything that's outside of your comfort zone. You're trying to encourage people to get out of their comfort zones, and it's people getting out of their comfort zones that feel like they don't have a place there. I'm not an athlete, or I'll never be able to do this. I'll never do it. So those are the kind of people that we're looking after. So that's one of the things we're going to discuss and we're going to talk with our viewers about is the title of this thing, which we kind of had a bit of a giggle with a few things this morning, because that's definitely going to change, right? So I liked your idea. We just draw a little stripe through the tri bit and we become the unlikely athlete. It kind of keeps a little bit of history in there. But we thought we'd put it out to the viewers as well, maybe in our socials or DM us or get on there and have your say. But like, come up with some good ideas, some good names, the unlikely champion, the unsuspecting athlete, whatever. But that's definitely going to evolve. And we're going to definitely, in our venture, looking forward, the two of us now working together, co-host on the show, we're still going to obviously interview as many people as we can. That have got inspiring stories, but it's going to need a new name.
It certainly is going to need a new name. So yeah, we're definitely after some help from the viewers and the listeners to kind of come up with some ideas. But yeah, I think when we started chatting about me joining you on the podcast as a co-host, mate, yeah, I get excited by anyone doing any of this crazy stuff. So it might be that I want to go and climb Mount Kilimanjaro and raise a ton of money for some charity, or it might be I want to run a half marathon, and for where you are right now in life, that might in itself might be a monumental kind of task. It doesn't have to. It certainly doesn't have to be triathlon. It definitely needs to be something that challenges you, that makes you feel like it's putting you way out of your comfort zone. That's the bit. That's the journey. That's the bit that excites me, and I get. When I'm coaching people that are doing that kind of thing, it just gets me so invested, probably too invested in the journey. But
because you can see what they can't quite see yet, and I get excited for that, man. When they get the results, and it's just like bite-sized chunks, just one step at a time, and following the guidance, trusting the process and the system, you'll blow yourself away.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
I look back occasionally on Facebook or whatever, and it brings you up your timeline of photos from this time 5 years ago or whatever. My first proper bike ride, it was with a hybrid commuter bike and a rugby shirt on over the top of a base layer, flats, so trainers and flat pedals. And that was my first training ride for an Ironman. It doesn't have to be all the fancy kit and everything. It's about making that first leap and going, right. I think I had a woolly hat on underneath my helmet because it was so cold. I used to ride with my mates in Jersey where I was living at the time. Used to absolutely rip me because I lived in Spain for 12 years. So I'm born for the heat. I'm not born for the cold. So I used to go out riding on this steel framed old commuter bike with cycling gloves underneath with some running gloves over the top, and then my snowboarding gloves over the top of that. And I used to go out riding this rusty old nail of a bike. But that was how I started, right? It wasn't the ideal way. There was no such thing as the ideal way. But I got going, and then I very quickly progressed and went through the.
Well, that's another misconception. I think it was at the T100 in London, the last one. It was still this year or last year. I can't remember now. But we were down there and we were watching the cyclists go by, and the guy came past on what I guess I call it an Amsterdam bike. The basket on front and everything. I was like, you don't got to have the fancy stuff. You don't got to be one of those fancy Arab. You just got to. You could ride on a mountain bike. If you're not there to win gold medals and go to world champs and all that kind of, you're just participating, want to finish the event. It doesn't matter.
Hey, look,
It doesn't matter.
we're always struggling to find places to put all our nutrition, right?
Yeah,
So
there you go.
a big old basket on them. Did he have a baguette in there?
Yeah. Oh, look at that guy's got a nutrition, and he's got a camel pack on. So what? No one cares, you know.
No one cares. No, exactly. Yeah, I'm a big believer that yes, you're absolutely right. For those who want to, start winning age groups, getting on the podium, qualifying for Kona, and they're like, great. There are so many things. And a coach can help you get the right, spend the money in the right places and get the best return for you. But all that stuff is great. But you don't need to do that to get started.
No, you don't. And I think that's where you and I are at. Like we're more interested in those guys. We're more interested in the guys that need the help and the motivation and the guidance to help them find their, what did you call it, your cheat code, right? Because like everyone's got a cheat code. I believe that everyone's got their cheat code. We just got to help you find the cheat code. Once you've got it, man, there's like Pandora's box. She open, man. There's no turning back. You won't stop finding shit that you want to do that you thought you couldn't do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And you'll just keep on going down there. Now, interestingly, also, I think that brings me to, like, I want to say something about coaching. So I started out with the coaching, and I'm enjoying the coaching, but I do loads of different things right now. I can't help myself, and I've kind of backed out of coaching full time and focusing a bit more attention on this kind of thing now and other aspects of my life. But I'm more now where I kind of help people, mostly family and friends, or people who know people that I know, and that kind of thing. And I get a lot more joy and pleasure out of that. Whereas yourself, you're a full-time coach. That's what you do for a living now, right now.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of people think that, hey, coaches are almost unapproachable, right? One, they're always going to be too expensive, and two, they're only for the pros and people that really mean business. But talking about budget and buying not the fancy bikes and all that kind of stuff, and budget, people go, budget, triathlon, budget. Man, it's the first thing you got to look at if you're going to do a triathlon, whether it's a short one, a long one, or an in-between one, right? Because any sport now is going to cost you money, right? You've got to buy gear, as a tennis racket, tennis shoes. It's all up there. It's crazy. It really is crazy, but it's doable. It's very manageable. If you're going to save some money on all those extra runs down to the pub and all the junk food and all that kind of stuff, you will find the money and the time to do this stuff. There's absolutely no way. You will definitely find that, But always, I say, build into that budget, either a coach or at least some consultancy from a coach and a decent training program to go with, instead of buying the 8, 10, 12,000 bike and then just winging it and then having the worst experience of your life and going nowhere. Spend less on the bike and all the other fancy gear, and put a sensible portion of your budget to some form of coaching. Is absolutely, to me, because you've got to enjoy what you're doing, and you want to be a success, and that's the best chance you're going to have it.
Yeah, I think you're going to spend a reasonable amount of money, but it doesn't need to break the bank. You're going to spend a reasonable amount of money, but you're definitely going to spend a reasonable amount of time investing in this journey. If you're going to go and do a marathon or an ultra marathon or an Ironman, you are going to put some time into it. So you can do it your own way and wing it and make a ton of mistakes along the way, and find out the hard way that I didn't need to spend that 12 grand on the bike, or I didn't need to do this, or entered that race and found out afterwards that it's the hardest Ironman on the circuit. All these kind of mistakes that you can make. Investing a little bit of money in a coach who's been on that journey and walked that walk ahead of you and knows all the pitfalls and all the things where you can lose money. You'll save money in the long run if you get yourself a coach. It definitely isn't just for the preserve of the elites.
Yeah,
but the elites know pretty much everything they need to know. There's not a lot that the elites need to know from a coach.
Yeah,
but they still see the value in having one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in many ways, it's the beginners that probably need the coach the most. But I coach. If I look at all of the guys I coach right now, guys and girls that I coach right now, there's loads of them in there that are faster than me, that are more experienced than me, that done more Ironmans than me. But they understand that without a coach, they've only got half the kind of armory, and they use me as a coach with all manner of stuff. It's not just the pure knowledge and information. It's the accountability, it's the encouragement, it's the bouncing ideas back and forth of, it's the season planning, it's the nutrition. There's so much that goes into coaching.
There's always something, and accountability, I think, is one of the big ones. Everyone needs a coach. I believe that. I mean, Tiger Woods, Ernie Els, they got coaches, right? I bet their coaches can't beat them at a round of golf.
No, exactly.
But they got coaches, right? Yeah. It's the accountability. But what I also found in my short stint at coaching is that there's actually a fair chunk of life coaching in there as well, which you're also qualified at, aren't you?
Yeah, so I do still do a little bit of life coaching as
Yeah.
well. It blends into a bit of business coaching as well, having been MD of a fairly big company and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, like one of my favorite ever testimonials from one of my athletes actually was he said something along the lines of, I can't remember it word for word, but he said, I invested in a triathlon coach and I didn't realize I was getting a life coach. So
Yeah.
it does, it branches into all sorts of areas of life, as well as the technical knowledge of what do I need to do on Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock
Yeah.
with my bike ride.
Yeah.
That's fairly straightforward, and people can get most of what they need from a straightforward plan for that.
Yeah.
But a coach gives you all that
Yeah.
extra stuff. And the athlete in mind, that was one
Well,
of
you
my
know what,
favorite ever testimonials. So.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I've come across a few people over the years that have tried it on their own, and I was certainly one of them. And so instead of getting a coach, I went to learn to become a coach, and I kind of coach myself. But you still get good knowledge and advice elsewhere. That's kind of what dragged me down this road. But I do this every time, don't I? I lose my train. I've lost my train of thought again. It's because I'm doing this the second time over. Anyway, coaches and coaching. So yourself as a coach,
Yes.
as I was saying, like I've kind of backed out of the coaching, and that's another reason I think this is a bit of a match made in heaven, Matt, you and I, because you're still hands-on. You've got a bunch of athletes that you're coaching,
Yeah.
and it's what you do. I feel like I've got good knowledge of coaching. I've got good knowledge of sport in general, so I can have conversations with the experts, and we'll get those kind of people on the show, and we talk to them. I can ask the questions. I can be the mouthpiece of the athletes, the everyday athletes, I guess, kind of thing. You bring a slightly more professional level to things, and we go from there.
Some might say that's not hard work.
Well, I would imagine so. But insofar as coaching goes, like, what's your ideal athlete? Like,
Yeah, so I mean, I've got a range of people I'm looking after right now, from the more PT side of things, where people are just looking to get a little bit healthier and to get their life back on track. That's a fairly small portion of the people I look after right now. I've got some runners, so anyone looking to do kind of marathons and half marathons up to ultra marathons. I've done more ultra marathons than I've done Ironmans actually.
Okay,
So that's
yeah.
I guess is my real passion
Yeah.
from what I go and waste my time and money on.
Yeah.
But then I've got a really big slug of people doing half Ironmans and Ironmans as well. So
Yeah.
it's a bit of a mixture across the board. I started out as a PT. I then went and got qualified as an Ironman U certified coach, and since then a whole raft of other qualifications as well.
Yeah.
So it's a broad mix, but it's the people who are doing some kind of inspiring hero journey. They're the
Yeah.
ones that really
Yeah.
get me excited. I've got some really fast guys. I've got some athletes winning age groups, going to Kona, going to
Yeah.
Worlds, all that kind of stuff. And I love coaching those guys as
Yeah.
well. But the ones that really get me excited when I can't wait for the weekly coaching call to start are the ones
Yeah.
that are doing something like I did all those years ago, when
Yeah.
doing some kind of weird and wonderful, wacky
Yeah.
journey, starting from zero and building themselves up.
Yeah. You know what? Talking about marathons, we mentioned earlier, we're talking about the London Marathon.
Yeah.
That was on yesterday. Phenomenal. Okay, first of all, 2 guys, call it 3, going under 2 hours, which is just unbelievable, and then you got the guy who's carrying the fridge on his back, the whole way. And I've actually had an athlete I've been semi-coaching who ran the marathon yesterday, and he said at one point he's feeling like he was struggling a bit with an injury, and he said he was just feeling like, oh, that's it, I'm going to throw in the towel. He said, then a guy come past me, the fridge on his back, and he thought, there's no ways I can stop now. I'm going to crawl in on my bleeding hands and knees, but I'm going to finish this race, But it was quite a number of years ago now. Gosh, I must have been maybe late teens, early 20s. Comrades Marathon in South Africa, which I guess a lot of people who are into running and they know what the Comrades is. But it's 80 kilometers. It's been there for donkey's years. People come from all over the world to run this race. Now, Bruce Fordyce was one of the legends of the race. South African athlete. I think he won it 8 or 9 times in the end, but 6 in a row. Something, a phenomenal athlete. And I remember them interviewing him once after a race, and they were saying, wow, that's incredible. It's the fastest downhill, because one year they run it downhill, one year they run it up. That's the fastest downhill time ever, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? He said, this is nothing. He said, I might finish this race in whatever it was, 4 hours or whatever he did the race. I can't remember the times. He said, but look at these guys that are coming in just before cutoff at 16, 17, whatever the cutoff time is here. He says, those are the hardcore guys. I've spent 4 hours on the road. I'm going home. Those guys are doing 3 times that to get to the end there. And those are our people.
Yeah, I always say whenever I go to support one of my athletes or compete in an Ironman, I always say that last hour, they call it the magic hour, the golden hour, don't they?
Yeah.
When those guys have been out there absolutely killing themselves for 16 hours or so, those are the guys that it's a totally different event for those people.
You want inspiration, man. Just
Yeah.
don't even, if all you can do is go down at the end of the race, clock the time, get down and watch people coming in within 30 to 40 minutes of the cutoff time. If that doesn't inspire you, hey, to get off your backside and get out there and do something, it's absolutely incredible. And like I say, so the point I'm making there is that those are my kind of people anyway. Those are the kind of people that I want to say, hey man, look at the people that can do this. You can definitely do this, get up and get out there.
And some of the guys I coach now, they obviously that's where they started, and now they've got the bug. And then once you've done one, and then you realise it's possible, you unlock that cheat code, and then they go, actually, maybe now I'd like to do one, and maybe I'm going to target sub 12, and then they do that, and they realise, my God, I've lost another X kilos, I'm stronger, I'm fitter, I'm faster, my FTP's gone up. I wonder if I can go under 10. And so that progression undoubtedly happens. But they didn't start on the sofa, sat there one day saying, I want to go to Kona. They started and said, I want to do an Ironman. And then they built up from there. So that journey is the fun bit.
You know what? And that's the thing, that's another, I might be a broken record because I think I say this from almost every show, but all roads lead to Ironman, or at least triathlon, And I know you're one of those numpties who said, I'm going to leave the bank and go and do an Ironman race. Right? And you did say earlier you wouldn't advise it, right? There are those people that do that, but you just got to make that start, man. It's just, I want to nudge those people just to get off the couch and just do that first, like you just said there now, couch to 5K, then it's 10K park run, then a little sprint triathlon. All roads will lead to either a triathlon, an ultra race or something. But
it's addictive. Yeah, it's addictive.
Yeah, absolutely. It is, what do we call it earlier on? We said it was
it's like a healthy addiction.
Yeah, it's the healthiest addiction, man. It's the coolest addiction you can have. And it really is. But not only physically and the physical benefits, but people realize that they're capable of doing more than they ever believed. The confidence grows, in business. All of a sudden, hey, maybe I should go for that promotion at work and that kind of thing. I found that people just suddenly go, well, I never thought I could do that. And now I've done it. Well, maybe I can do that other thing. Maybe I can apply for that manager's job or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I've physically seen it. You can go back and watch some of my other episodes and look at some of those athletes that have come through whose whole lives have changed just because they've realized they can do something.
It happened for me. I when I look back now and I look at Matt in 2018 or 19 or whatever it was, would I have ever walked out of a job in banking with the salary and the pension and everything that goes with it and gone and set up my own business and winged it and made it up as I go? Absolutely no chance. That person wouldn't have done it. But getting across that first finish line and then doing a few more and then running 6 days across Africa in the jungle, all of that stuff unlocked a realization in me that, of course it's going to be hard. We're definitely not here on the podcast to tell everyone to quit their job and do something crazy.
Don't do that.
Hopefully you can learn a lesson, even if that's not what you want to do. You can learn a lesson from that. Like you say, I couldn't get that job, I couldn't get that promotion, I couldn't get doing something really hard, physically hard, that you mentally have to kind of push yourself through and train for and get ready for and get prepped for. Going through that whole process definitely means that you unlock, that's the cheat code that we talked about, which means that you then start to believe there's really nothing I can't do. So that's where the benefit comes, apart from getting healthy, getting fit, and probably extending your life a long way. That it's those other benefits that come with it that definitely help.
The confidence, man, and not only the bragging rights, but it's contagious, man. And that actually forces you to keep going. And I've one athlete in particular who was like, but now her kids, late teens kids, people at her workplace, you're doing a what?
Yeah.
When? How far? And I go, oh shit, I better. And then all of a sudden they're inspired and they're telling all their mates. And now all of a sudden you got all these followers on Instagram, that all your family and friends are going, hey, she's doing this. Shit, what should I do? And you start influencing people around. There's no going back, man. Because if you fall apart now, you look like a complete numpty. Because people are relying, they're following your example. I think you said it earlier in the 1.0 version of this episode, which we didn't record. You said something like that, is leading by example.
Oh yeah, back in my banking days, which do feel like an entirely different lifetime now. and I ended up being in charge of a team and all the rest of it. And leading by example was always the way that I thought you get better results. Just standing up and telling someone to do something will fall on deaf ears. Getting up and showing them that you're willing to do it first, and that there's a path that they can follow and copy is definitely gets a lot more success. So that's what I love to do. And we talked before about the crazier the race, the better. And that inspires me. I come across new potential athletes who want to join the team, and I hear about the races they're doing, and my bucket list of races just grows quicker than I can go and tick them off. There's more ones being added on. So and it's about being inspired by others and then going and doing stuff yourself.
Yeah. You know what? It's interesting. Before we recorded, you were chatting to my wife, and she was saying about how determined I am about things. It's like I've got this horrendous. It's my worst enemy sometimes. This OCD thing, and it's just like I will just keep going and going and going until it's absolutely perfect and it's right, and no one else will notice that it's off. I'll notice it's off, and I'll just keep going. And when I got in with the triathlon, it was like my mission was to qualify for world champs. Because at first I thought I started triathlon. I thought, I'd love to. Well, Kona, that's the home of triathlon. I'd like to go. I'm going to sign up for that one. Oh shit, you can't sign up. You've actually got to qualify. Oh, I have to work harder now. So I went off on this journey, and I realized, oh, okay, well, there's a world champ 70.3, and there's a world. And I've been working. I've done the 13 races now. 5 of those are full distance, and the rest are 70.3s. And I've been on this mission, and every race is a new lesson, but I still haven't achieved that. I've come close, like literally, I think it was like 1 or 2 places out of the roll down to going to 70.3 world champs. And it just didn't happen. And it's not gutted, boo-hoo, disappointment, but it's like, I've got to work harder. I've got to work harder. And I've actually got to a point now where I've actually kind of backed off on myself a bit now. And I'm thinking, well, I've got to keep going because I told myself I'm not going to stop until I qualify for world champs in either of those two, right? If I'm the only guy at 95 years old who finishes and goes, that's how I'm going to get there. That's how I'm going to get there. But I've taken a step back now. And actually, most of the viewers that know where the name for my triathlon coaching company came from, the Green Mamba, was on the bicycle, right? Which I very sadly sold last week. And the reason for that is I've decided to hang up the triathlon for a bit, and I'm not giving up sport altogether. So I just feel like I've been going at it hard and hard, and I need something a bit different. The last race I did down in December down in Busselton in Australia, I enjoyed the race, but I didn't get anything out of it. I was like, and I was like, okay, you're losing interest here. You need, that's just how my brain works, right? So anyway, I sold the bike because it was just going to sit there for a few years, and it needs someone riding it. The guy actually messaged me today to say, man, I took it out for its first spin. Awesome bike. So I'm really chuffed that someone else is out there who paid that all forward, and he's on his way. But I'm refocusing my energy on something slightly different now, and it's about all those weird and strange races that we talk about. Now, a couple of years ago, well, not a couple of years, quite a few years ago now, it feels like yesterday, 2012, my wife and I took a month out and we went across the States, pretty much following old Route 66 thereabouts on a motorcycle. Fantastic, awesome trip of a lifetime. But that took us through a place called Death Valley. And Death Valley, if you're a Goggins man, you'll know certainly about it. Death Valley, they host a race called the Badwater 135. Now, it's a Badwater Basin. So it's a 135-mile race. It starts in Badwater, which I believe, Badwater Basin, which I believe is like 120 meters or something below sea level. And you run from there to the highest point in California, which I can't remember. It's a couple of thousand meters anyway, over those 135 miles. Not only that, but they run it in July, which is bang in the middle of summer. So upper 40s, lower 50s degrees centigrade, we're talking about Celsius. So it's a bugger. It's difficult to get in. They're not just going to take anyone. There's an application process. It's by invitation only, all that kind of thing. But when we visited that place, I was like, I've got to come and do this race. When I read about it, I've got to come and do this race. Now, I wouldn't say I'm running out of time. I'll never see myself as someone running out of time. The ripe old age of 57 I am now. That's probably 2 to 3 years away. So if I can get in there, do all the right stuff to get in there, to do that, that's kind of my focus. Then I think, okay, well, then I'm in my 60s. Then I'll come back and I'll kick ass in the triathlon because I'll be a better running, which at the moment, quite frankly, is my downfall in the triathlon stuff. Now, I can't remember where I was going with that, but so I've changed direction, but I'm not seeing my triathlon as a failure because as coaches or whatever, again, people think, oh, he must be a great athlete. Oh, you've done all these races. I've never been anything special. I'm always around the 6, just under 6 on the 70.3s. I'm always around the 12 mark in the full distances, and I'm happy with that. I need to knock off 2.5 of those to get to world champs, and I believe I can. I honestly do. But it's not a failure. It's a change of direction, but it's the attraction for all those different races.
About getting excited again, I suppose.
Yeah.
If you've done 13 races, whatever it is, you begin, especially if you haven't hit that big goal that you were set out for, you've got to get that spark back. So if it means a change of direction for a little while, then that just points you in a new direction, gets you really excited again, get the running improving, and then maybe like you say, triathlon's not going anywhere. It will still be there if you want to come back in a year or two.
Now, as a shit hot ass kicking coach myself, do I need a coach? Do you know any good coaches that might get me down that road, Matt?
I might be able to put you in touch with one or two. Yeah, absolutely, mate. This is why you got me on the pod, isn't it?
Yeah, I just want some training.
Yeah, look, I'm a big believer. Fast, slow, somewhere in the middle, you'll benefit from a coach, especially a coach who's gone and done that kind of crazy stuff before. So we'll talk off air, and in fact, maybe we'll make an episode about it, about the things you need to do to get started.
Maybe we can do a little bit of a little 10-minute insert on all the pods about our journey from somewhere. I think we mentioned it earlier. We'll get you onto something as well, and we'll show people that we can also do stuff we don't think we can do, and we'll work our way through it.
Absolutely.
And we'll get on the exciting times.
And speaking of people who want to get on a journey and go down a route similar to this, one of the biggest things that got me hooked about coming and joining you and co-hosting was when we talked about, can we find somebody out there in the viewership, in the listenership, who's up for doing something crazy? So we were spitballing, and we came up with the idea of we're gonna take somebody, we're gonna hold somebody's hand, and we're gonna get them from couch to 70.3 Ironman. So that's what really got me hooked. I love that journey. So tell me more about it.
Let's chew on that one for a little bit, eh? So it was an idea I had when I was solo in the last year, and then kind of because of my changes, I thought, okay, well, again, match made in heaven, I think, here, because you're still solidly in the coaching, and you've got a good few years up on it of me, and I've just kind of got that knowledge, but I've got this drive to inspire people and just to pull people out of their holes and put them somewhere else, And so really what we're looking at now is, and I think we talked about maybe putting it out as some sort of a competition or promotional thing, but what we're going to do, guys, and this is exciting stuff with us co-hosting now, going ahead, one of the things we're going to be looking at is we're going to put it to you guys out in the public to come to us and tell us why we should consider you as the unlikely triathlete. And what we mean by that is we're looking for someone. And again, I always say with respect and love in my heart, because, Wokarati, man, those guys will throw eggs at us anytime. You may be a little more well-rounded than the next person, or have one or two less limbs, or you're blind, or, you potentially a war veteran. I'm an ex-military guy myself. I got a lot of respect for that kind of thing. Someone who's just in the wrong place, in a hole that they need to get out of, but they don't just want to get out of it. They want to go and achieve something. So you guys come to us and say, hey, I'm so-and-so. This is my story. I think I can inspire your viewers and inspire people. It's not about making us money or making us famous or any shit like that. We want to inspire people to just create better lives for themselves. So if you think you're that person, what we're looking at is at some point we're going to put it out there, and we're going to say, right, competition's on or it's in, and we'll have a deadline on it. And those people are going to write to us and say, hey, man, I'm George. I'm 150 kilos. I lost one leg, in a bicycle accident or something like that. And I reckon I'm your man. This is my story, whatever the case may be. And then we're going to coach them.
Yep.
We're going to take them from there to a 70.3, right? We've agreed on a 70.3, but we're going to get all the expenses covered, aren't we? We're going to get sponsors.
We're going to go out there. We're going to try and find sponsors who are willing to stump up for a bike or stump up for all of the kit. So we're going to get as much of the cost covered as we can. We're certainly going to give all the coaching for free.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot on my first episode on the pod today. You've talked, I know, on the other 15 or so episodes about our journey. But we want to show it live. We want to show it unfolding, was that starting the journey from beginning with absolutely nowhere right the way through to the finish line. And the final episode will be some live footage from the race and people getting over the finish line and the emotion and everything that goes with it.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't inspire the next group of guys that are listening
Yeah,
to the podcast
then we
and don't
failed.
do the same, then we've done a really bad job, which is more than possible that will happen.
I know.
So yeah, it starts with people basically messaging in, and it might be for yourself, or it might be someone that you know that you kind of want to nominate and say, actually, this person would be ideal to go on that journey.
Yeah, because a lot of people are too shy to speak up, eh? Or too
Exactly.
afraid to speak up, you know. So yeah, put forward your guys and girls that you know, man. I think it'll be awesome, you know, because I think we can kind of expand on that. I think we could make it like we start with a launch promo on it, and we take it over like 12 months.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna. So we talked about doing a monthly episode.
Yeah.
Where we touch base with that athlete, we talk about what progress they've made this month, the wins, the losses, the things that the mistakes, all of the hairy stuff. It's not going to be sweetness and light. We don't want to dress this up as
warts and all, man.
Yeah,
warts and all. Watch if you dare.
and hopefully it'll become an inspiring story, and we'll probably make it YouTube shorts, and we'll probably do all sorts of stuff with it to help show everybody that there is literally no low bar, like anyone can start. That's the goal. That's the idea. It's exciting.
Just get it out there, man. Yeah, as you guys can hear, it's still a bit of a work in progress, and we get real excited about it. But we're going to fine tune it down to exactly what we want it to be, and then we're going to launch that thing, man, and we're going to get you guys involved. And I think it's going to be cool, because at the moment we're putting out episodes every 2 weeks, and we're going to start in a couple of months' time. We'll jump that up to 1 a week, so pretty much 4 a month. And I think quite right, either the first or last episode of each month is a roundup with our Unlikely Triathlete. And as you say, we'll cut in all the clips of the training, all the heartache, all the wins, all the losses. I think it's gonna be fantastic, man. I think we have so much fun, you know.
I'd like to say it's really easy for us to sit here and talk about our journey, that what we did in the past, and that's hopefully inspires some people, and that's how we've grown a bit of a viewership already. But taking somebody through it live and showing, like I said, showing the mistakes along the way and showing that you can make mistakes and fluff your lines and still come out the other side and achieve it is
no, for sure. Yeah, no, it's going to be a really cool exercise, that one. I look forward to it. And so watch this space, guys. We're going to let you know exactly where we're going with that. From a coaching point of view, we're going to start, because as I say, I'm not coaching. I'm sort of consulting, helping here and there, but you're still full on in coaching. So, and one of the things we're going to use the podcast for is to promote the coaching on your side of things as well. So, tell us a bit more about that. I know we've touched on it a bit here and there, but give yourself a punt, Matt. Go on, give us your best.
So yeah, look, I love nothing more than getting involved with somebody who wants to go on a journey. So whether that be training for a marathon, training for a triathlon of some kind, a training to get your health and life back on track. That's what I do. I've got a reasonably big stable of people I'm looking after right now, but there's always room for more. So yeah, anyone who wants to go on that journey, anyone who wants to learn and grow and get to a goal that they want to achieve, could be a triathlon, it could be a marathon, it could be a half marathon, it could be I want to lose a load of weight and climb Mount Kilimanjaro and raise a bunch of money for charity. Doesn't matter what the goal is. I specialize in helping people go on that journey. So yeah, there are still some spaces on the team, not many. I'm nearly full time now, but there's always room for 1 or 2 more. But hopefully over the pod, 1 or 2 people might want to get in touch and have a chat with me. And that's the important thing. It's my Instagram will be in the show notes. So all you got to do is reach out for a DM. It's a chat. It starts with a chat, a conversation. Exactly. Is it for me? Is it not? I don't hold a gun to people's heads. I only work with people that really want to work. I don't work with people who are going to not turn up and not do the work. So
if I get a coach, I'll be able to do this, but you've actually got to do the work, right?
But people still, you still have to. You can have the best training plan in the world. If you don't get off the sofa and do it, it doesn't actually work. So it starts with a conversation. Just drop me a line. We'll have a chat. If it's for you, and you've got an exciting goal and you're really motivated to do it, then I will help you get there. That's the goal.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think, I was actually going to be devil's advocate and ask that exact same question. So if I'm a guy listening, they say, well, coaching is not for me. That's only for the big shots and the guys like that. Or people tend to be a little intimidated because there's millions of coaches out there all trying to push their wares, And I think you actually alluded to it earlier on, and I think you're probably quite right. I think more coaches are the genuine coaches. As you said, you give far too much free shit away, right?
I think a lot of coaches are really bad at over giving and not charging for their services.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer that the first conversation absolutely needs to not be paid. It's get on the phone and have a chat, and see whether it's for you.
Yeah.
My job is you get started. Now, coaching in the main, coaching isn't about signing you up for a 2-year contract. It's you pay as you go as you go along in most coaching scenarios. If the coach isn't helping you, if the coach isn't making you move forward, if your numbers aren't improving and you can't feel that progress, you just stop, right? So there's no, if you think the coach might be for you, give it a try. As we said earlier, we'll show you the mistakes that everyone makes along the way and help you avoid them. And if that is all you ever get from coaching, already you're winning. That's before all the knowledge and the technical and everything else that comes with it. If all you do is learn from other people's mistakes and don't have to make them yourself, it's a win already.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. So, hey guys, get in touch, man. Give Matt a shout. He's actually quite a nice guy for an Englishman, you know.
Welshman,
Right.
Welshman.
Sorry, Welshman. Welsh Spaniard. We're going down the road here. No, all good. So yeah, get in touch, man. It is. It's always worth a conversation, even if it's. I know. I think guess things are tight for everyone at the moment, but you can't put a value on your health. I really don't. I don't think you can, you know. And even if it's just some initial consultancies, I did that, you know. I put guys together. Well, these are good coaching programs to go for. I'll help you get started, and then off you go on your own. And that kind of works as well. But hey, absolutely chat, man. Don't be scared to get in touch and have a shout, you know, have a look, see.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what else are we talking about today, Matt? We were looking at.
Well, what we really want, we want some ideas on what we're going to tweak the name to, and we really want some people to put their hand up or have someone put their hand up for them who want to go on this journey. I mean, that other than introducing me as co-host, those were the two things we really wanted to nail this episode.
Yeah.
Upcoming editions, we'll talk in a bit more detail on those things, but there's no reason why people can't get started. So if you think you want to go on that journey, send us a note. If you want to coach, send me a note. And if you have a bright idea about how we tweak the name to cover a bit of a broader audience, then get in touch.
And as I say as well, you know, you've got a few slots. You're a busy coach. There is a number that you can get to where you just start using chat. But get in touch anyway, you know, because Matt in particular, I'm fairly well connected within the network. Matt, yourself in particular, I mean, you're involved with all the guys throughout the triathlon industry. You cover a lot of the coaches as well. You head a lot of coaches in the industry. Maybe you can tell us a bit more about that. But certainly, if you don't have any slots, you know the right people to push them towards. And having had a conversation with you, you'll know exactly which coach.
For sure.
I mean, I don't know. Does that kind of thing sit with you? Is that
absolutely. If somebody comes along and I have a conversation with them and it doesn't feel like I'm going to be the right coach for them, then I know, a very long list of coaches up and down the country and across the whole of South America, bizarrely, and all of Australia, New Zealand as well. I know loads of coaches all over the world. So if it's not the right fit for me, then I definitely point you in the right direction.
I know he don't look like much, but he's the shit, guys. He's the man. He's the man. So, guests for the show. Now, I quite liked earlier on, you mentioned a lady with the running.
Yeah.
Right. And then tell me about that, and then I'm going to say some more about guests.
So, obviously, the sports news this morning is covered in London Marathon this weekend. Understandably, you know, mind-blowing results and performances at the weekend at London. But one story that jumped out to me was there's a lady all over BBC Sport today who just completed 100 marathons in 100 days, which in itself is insane.
Yeah.
And then I started to read a little bit more about this lady. And she, 18 months ago, 2 years ago, she wasn't a runner at all. She couldn't do a 5K, right? So if ever there was the absolute epitome of the unlikely athlete / triathlete / whatever we're going to call it, if ever there was evidence of how far you can go once you first make that first step, I think she signed up for a park run and went and did that, and then that was the beginning of her journey. That's the stories that we love on here. It's the people who've really gone one step in front of the other, and just kept going and seen how far can I push myself.
So you reached out to her, and we're really hoping to get on the show, man. Come on, come and chat to us. We're really nice guys. You know?
Exactly that. I've already sent her a message. We've already started to have a chat. So she's the sort of person that we want on the show.
Yeah.
Again, readers, listeners, viewers, anyone who you know who's gone on that incredible kind of journey, who you think might be up for coming and joining us for a chat on the couch, send them through. If it's you, drop us a line. If it's someone you know, your aunt, your uncle, your brother, your sister, whoever, and you think that they would make a great guest for the show, get them on board. Send them our way. We'll have a chat with them, and we want to get inspired with as many of these people as possible.
No, agreed, man. You know, as cool as it is to just listen to the two of us talk shit for 45 to an hour, it could be a lot more fun. And I can tell you what, it's really difficult because there's so many people out there that just need to come on the show. And to get a hold of them on social media, I guess a lot of people are hammering away at them, is really, really difficult, you know. And I appreciate that. I don't knock it at all. But as Matt says, man, if you know someone or if you yourself think, hey, you've got a story to tell, to come and inspire people, give us a shout, man. We really want to get more people on the show. And just flipping inspire people there.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah. Right, so wrapping it up, I guess, for today then. I want to do a recap. One, help us with the name, guys, and see where we go with that. We planted the seed about the Unlikely Triathlete journey, 12 months journey that we're going to be putting together. I think that pretty much covers us for today. We're gonna do some more episodes where it will just be us. I wanted to mention as well, but also there's a lot of really cool people that we may not necessarily be able to get on the show, but we can certainly bring their stories to light and talk about them.
Absolutely.
So that's potentially a really cool episode to look forward to. We're going to do some homework and some research, pull some of those unbelievable stories out of the hat, and maybe put a couple of episodes together chatting about them and reference them, put some cool pics and things up like that.
100%.
Yeah, otherwise, guys, we're excited, man. To all the guys that have been following already, we really appreciate it. Keep watching. This is new turf for both of us. Matt, again, thanks for coming. You had to catch a train all the way up here this morning. But I'm excited, man. I think we're both excited about this thing. We're a long way. Any ideas, we're always up for it. We're always open. Give us a shout, DM us, get on our social media platforms. Everything will be put in the links and all that cool stuff down below in the show notes. And as always, like, subscribe, follow, and share the hell out of this thing, man. If it doesn't mean much to you because you're already a rock star in the ultra distance, someone you're thinking about, hey, pass it on. Someone who needs a bit of a nudge, someone who needs some inspiration, send them on the links, man. Watch the show, listen to the show on your way to work. And what else? Anything from you today, Matt?
Just again, thank you so much for inviting me on as co-host, mate. This is going to be a really exciting journey. So yeah, I cannot wait to get started.
Cool stuff. Okay, guys, that's Matt and Rob as opposed to Rob and Matt on, for now, the Unlikely Triathlete. Take care. Never stop moving.